Hey guys, so today I want to talk about when you get to this state where you absolutely don't want to be on your job anymore. You're ready for a new job and you absolutely can't take it anymore. Now, of course, most of the times the first thing that we're thinking about is getting another job. The first thing that we're focused on is applying for another job. But one of the other things that kind of seeps in a lot of times when we get into this situation is that we will begin to let that affect us on our current jobs. We get frustrated much easier. We get stressed out much easier. We get a little bit more snappy. And this is something that you really want to avoid because, like I said, it reflects on you to other people, and perhaps they will start to seeing that. Perhaps they will start to seeing that you are, checking out. And that is not such of a good thing to do, especially from the start, because you absolutely don't know how long it's going to actually take before you can get another job. So to let this seep in, psychologically can have a major negative effect on your job, because then you start to check out a little bit more. You start to give a little bit less of an effort. And, that is never a good thing, because not only is that going to reflect to other people, but that reflects to you, and it's going to affect your life. So the thing is, it is very important that you continue to give an effort. It's important that you continue to do your best work, because, like I said, that shows that's something that you're actually going to carry over into your next job. It's part of your character. And these small things, they may seem very small. If you jump from a couple jobs and you do this same pattern over and over, where you start to give less effort before you leave, or you start to check out, then that affects your future. That affects the next job that you go to. So it's very important that you stay into it. I've worked several jobs, and one of the things was that even the jobs I did not like, I was always conscious about the effort that I was putting in. I was always conscious about the work that I was putting in. Some of them, of course, I think we're all going to work those jobs that we don't necessarily want to work, but it's important that we do. We have bills to pay, responsibilities, and all that sort of stuff. So sometimes we may take those lower paying jobs, those jobs that are very stressing environments, calls, working at customer service position, fast food restaurants, and all those sorts of things. I never worked fast food. I worked at a company that was basically a poultry company, and I did a lot of things that I didn't like doing. I packed corn dogs. I operated batter machines. I did this sort of stuff. It was more so of a summer job for me. This was when I was still in college, so it wasn't that huge of a deal. But one of the things that I tried to always do was, even though I knew that it was a short-term job, I tried to give my best effort. And it wasn't something that I even had to force myself to do. Of course, when it's your first job, it's much easier for you to come on and try to impress others and try to prove to yourself that you're capable of doing whatever and giving your best work at it. It's very easy to do that on your first job. But of course, when you get a little bit more experience and you've had several jobs, then it becomes a little bit tougher to do that. But that's one of the things that I've always been conscious about, the work that I put in. And one of the things that's beneficial about that is I can go back and talk to my supervisors. I can go back and talk to those people that were above me. And, I can have casual conversations. And I'm pretty sure if I were to need assistance with another job, they would help. That was one of the things that is very important. You build networks, and of course, they say that the first impression is very important, but the last impression is just as important. The way you leave something is just as important as the way you began it. And oftentimes, people are going to remember the way you left. They're going to remember the way things ended more so than the way that they began. If you put in a great effort from the moment that you started, and you sort of started to slack off through time, and then you did something, or perhaps just really slack during your last few weeks after you put in your 2 weeks notice in, it's going to leave a very bad impression. It doesn't matter how much great work that you put in before that. They may still talk about that great work, but they're really going to remember you for the negative things that you did. So, despite whatever job it is, despite, when you get to that phase when you're realizing that you want to move on, and of course, this can be for several different reasons. This is not to say that your reasons for moving on don't necessarily or shouldn't warrant anger or shouldn't warrant, you rushing out. It's not to say that, because sometimes it can be because of circumstances that are really out of our control. It could be from a bad boss, a horrible work environment, something that's really draining you mentally and physically. It can be for many different reasons. So there's not to say that, your reasons are, anything's wrong with your reasons. I think that, at some point in time, everyone's going to reach this position in which they're going to sort of want to move on. Some people perhaps will stay at jobs a little bit longer. I think that one of the things that we're finding now is that It's becoming a little bit more common for people to carry more jobs on their resumes. It's becoming more common for people to not stay long term at jobs, in this day and age. So there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, with every job that you have, you should always give a great effort, no matter how much you don't like it. If it's your second or third job or whatever it is, if you're working multiple jobs, try to give your best effort. And sometimes you're gonna have to push a little bit harder. Sometimes you're gonna have to eat crap. It just works that way. Sometimes you're gonna have to put up with things that are stressing, things that are very frustrating. But when you think about yourself, ask yourself, do I want to put in a great work? Why do I want to put in great work? What is this going to do for me? And you'll find that, when you can look back and say that you put in your best effort, that you did your best on whatever job that you've done, when you can absolutely confidently say that, authentically say that, people are going to realize that you're true when you say that. And perhaps this will help you on job interviews when they start to asking you about your past experience. Why did you move on from a job and all this sort of stuff? I've been asked this question before, and I was never able to say anything negative. I've always said that I've always been able to say that, despite, when they ask these questions such as what's one of the worst things that happened during a job and how do you respond, this is one of the reasons, or one of the benefits of giving your greatest effort, because when you're in that position, you're able to actually say what the problem was, but you're able to quickly say what sort of mental state you're in, how you're able to rebound, and how you're able to solve that problem. You never really want to leave something on a negative end. And that's one of the things that when it comes to interviews, when you get asked those sorts of questions, you never want to just complain. They want to see how you actually handle the situation. They want to see how you responded to the situation. And when you can authentically say that, then it's going to be to your benefit, because interviewers, they can pick up on lies. Any good interviewer, I believe, can pick up on a lie. So you never really want to make up things. But like I said, when you're confident in the sort of career you have, when you're confident in the work effort that you put in, and always leaving on a good note, leaving a good impression. When you leave with that, that's going to benefit you much more than just outwardly benefits, but that's going to benefit you, as you are going to deep down know that you've always been able to give your best effort, that you've always gave your best effort on whatever job it is. So like I said, when you get to that point, of course, along with your job search, do not slack off on your current job. Do not let that affect you from when you walk in the office, that you're angry, that you're snapping at other people, because that's not going to benefit anyone, and it's definitely not going to benefit you. And if anything, it's going to affect your character. It's going to affect your behavior. And those things really do carry on. They have a cumulative effect over time. So anyways, I didn't want to talk about, as far as the different techniques or whatever for looking for other jobs and all those sorts of things. I really want to talk about this mental state. When you leave a job, when you're in that position where you absolutely want to leave a job, continue to do your best work. Continue to put in an effort, because like I said, you don't know how long it's going to take to find another job, and you don't want to cut yourself short before you even have something lined up. And when you do have something lined up, continue to do great work. Like I said, that leaves a positive impression, and you'll have people that you can go back on and talk to in life. Like I said, I chat a lot of times with my old supervisors from my old jobs just to check on them. And, it's really great to be able to do that, to have that sort of network and to leave that positive, impact on people that you've worked with before. So anyways, that's all I want to talk about. I will talk a little bit more about, job related topics as the future goes on. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed, and until next time, I will talk to you later.